Okay, Carmelo. This is a good illustration. I definitely think it's a very, very interesting illustration. There's a couple of areas in this illustration that kind of, I don't know, I'm a little iffy on some of these areas. And let me just describe what I'm seeing here, okay, and see if you agree with me. So first of all, I think well, actually, let me do this. I'm going to give you my question for the week here for this piece. Now, there is a light source, definitely, and that light source is preserved through most of the illustration. However, there are a couple of areas, they're subtle areas, but they're an inaccurate depiction of the light, of the distribution of the way the light affects the objects. And I want you to identify those areas for me. It's going to take a little bit of getting in here with your zoom tool and really taking a look, but there are definitely just a couple of very subtle areas that aren't depicting the light source correctly. So I want you to identify those. Okay, now as far as the technique goes, I think it's an interesting technique. The water bugs me, and the reason it bugs me is this: is the water. It's a monochromatic basically. So we got a lot. Well, the foreground is, the background isn't, but the background is using a complementary scheme, whereas the front or a variation of a complementary theme, whereas the color theme, whereas the foreground is definitely monochromatic. The issue with that is that this area right here to me is not as clearly defined as water as it could be. Or I shouldn't say that. I should say this area is not as clearly defined as being land. And also, I think we lose a little bit of perspective through here. Right through here, we're not getting the depth right in this area that I think is really, really needed. So basically, to me, at a first glance, it almost looks like the bench is sitting on water. Do you see what I'm saying? Also, another interesting thing, and something that kind of bugs me a little bit, is the depiction of the leaves. So we have the tree. The tree is done beautifully. Look at the texture in that tree. That is gorgeous. And even the depiction of light as it represents that texture is just impeccable. Really, really good technique there. But it seems like the leaves are just a blob. It's just like a blob of shape behind this wonderfully detailed um, uh, trunk of the tree, or the structure of the tree. So the leaves to me have a very high degree of separation from the tree itself. And I want you to let me know if you feel the same thing. Okay. Other than that, I think it's a really great analysis of the piece. Thank you very much for sharing. Let's go ahead and address those questions. I'm really super interested to see your response to my reaction, or your reaction to my response, I should say. Okay. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing your responses therein. All right. Great job, Carmelo. Thank you very much.